Think back to when you were young. Perhaps someone told you, don't cry. Be strong. Don't let people see you are afraid. Maybe you learned that tears were embarrassing. That mistakes were something to hide. That asking for help meant you weren't capable enough. So little by little, you learned to build walls. Not because you were cold, but because you were trying to protect your heart. We all have emotional armor. Some people hide behind achievement. Some behind humor. Some behind perfection. Some become so good at saying, I'm fine, that eventually, they forget how to say, I need help. But the armor that protects us from pain can also prevent love from reaching us. Vulnerability is often misunderstood. It is not weakness. It is not telling everyone everything about yourself. And it is certainly not allowing people to hurt you without boundaries. Vulnerability is something more intentional. It is saying, this is how I really feel, even when your voice shakes. It is saying, I was wrong, even when your pride wants to remain silent. It is saying, I love you, without knowing whether those words will be returned. It is beginning again, even when failure is possible. That is vulnerability, and that takes courage. But vulnerability has an enemy. It is the quiet voice inside us. The voice that says, you're not good enough. They will judge you. Don't let them see the real you. What if you fail? That voice can sound convincing. But it is not always wisdom. Sometimes, it is simply old fear. Fear that learned how to speak through self-protection. And perhaps healing begins when we stop fighting that voice, and simply observe it. I hear you. I know you're trying to protect me. But I don't need to hide anymore. What if you could make room for imperfection? What if you could stop waiting until you were completely healed, completely confident, completely ready, before allowing yourself to live? There is something deeply beautiful about being truly seen. Not the version of you that smiles for everyone. Not the version that always says the right thing. Not the version that pretends to have everything under control. But you, as you really are. Tired sometimes, confused sometimes, afraid sometimes, still learning, still growing, still healing, and somehow, still worthy of love. When we allow ourselves to be authentic, something unexpected happens. Other people often feel safer being authentic too. Your honesty gives someone else permission to put down their armor. Your tears may tell someone, you don't have to hide yours either. Your admission of fear may give someone permission to say, I'm afraid too. This is how connection begins. Not through perfection, but through honesty. But remember, being vulnerable does not mean being available to everyone. Your heart deserves boundaries. You can be honest, and still be private. You can forgive, and still keep your distance. You can love someone, and still say no. You can open your heart, without handing someone the power to break it. Vulnerability becomes healthy when it is accompanied by wisdom. You don't have to tell your story to everyone. You only need to share it with those who have earned the right to hear it. And perhaps, that is another form of courage. Knowing when to open the door, and knowing when to gently close it. Maybe the greatest form of vulnerability is allowing yourself to believe that you are enough. Not because you achieved enough. Not because everyone approves of you. Not because you never make mistakes. But simply because you are human. You are allowed to be a work in progress. You are allowed to change your mind. You are allowed to begin again. You are allowed to have bad days. You are allowed to need someone. And you are allowed to love yourself through all of it. You don't have to become perfect before you deserve peace. You don't have to become fearless before you deserve love. You don't have to have everything figured out before your life can be meaningful. Perhaps, you can simply begin where you are, with the heart you have today.